Hey everybody, welcome back to another video from According to Lee. So appreciate you guys taking the time to sit down and listen to this. Appreciate you guys jumping in here. These are questions that came from people watching other videos that I had and just kind of questions in general. And then on top of that, I had family and friends who were asking similar kinds of questions. So I thought I'd kind of dive into it a little bit, do some of the research, figure out what I could find on it, and then present it to everybody just in case maybe you were thinking the same kind of thing. So go ahead and smash that like button just for if you like these kinds of videos, if you want me to kind of put more in there, and then also jump in and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be putting stuff in here as often as possible. I don't want to say every day, but every few days at least, a few times a week, just to kind of get some content out there, but at least for you guys to stuff that I'm excited about, stuff I think you guys are excited about, and then get it going from there. So sit back, relax, and then any questions, just like always, throw it down in the comments and we'll get started. So like we always try to do on According to Lee, we like to bring everyday information to everyday people so they can make everyday decisions. Like I said, that this one in particular, and we're going to dive right into it, is about the Gigafactory. If you're like me, you have everything Tesla, from your toothbrush down to the toothpaste to what you read when you first wake up in the morning. I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch, but it's pretty close. I do think about it a lot. Probably an uncomfortable amount, maybe. But either way, there's a lot of stuff that's happening with them. So in addition to the launch of the new vehicle, the Model Y, which you've seen ad nauseum, if you've watched any of my other videos, and then also some of the stuff that they're doing with the technology, solar power, solar roofs, solar city that they purchased a few years back, just to really kind of amp up their battery production. Because if you think about it, if you're producing a battery and you're either paying for somebody else to do it or you're figuring out a way to make it yourself, right? So Tesla is all about optimizing efficiency, almost like Six Sigma tenfold, with everything that they do in their plants, their production, their materials, their raw material sourcing, all that sort of stuff. And it's not necessarily to, just to make money for the business. They want to make it as efficient as absolutely possible. If you look at the Model 3 versus the Model Y, everything in the Model 3 that they've already kind of optimized their efficiency and production on, they spun it over to the Model Y and just changed the cabin space a little bit. But the frame, the battery production, even some of the interior styling is exactly the same as the Model 3. And they did that on purpose to really kind of create a new type of vehicle that fills this other niche void that they didn't have to create new plants and new production lines and new service offerings and all that sort of stuff to do it. So it brings the cost down a little bit. I mean, it's not like it's super cheap either way, but it does bring that cost down, but it allows them to produce to fill that other void that I was talking about, so that they get something different. So what they're doing, and if you've, like I said, if you've been following any of the news, you're gonna see Gigafactory all over the place. So what is a Gigafactory? I had people in my family, I had friends asking me about this kind of thing and then of course in the comments, people were saying, well, what's a Gigafactory? And then more importantly, why do I care, right? So if you're a Tesla fan, you care about the Gigafactory because it's gonna allow them to produce batteries and vehicles faster and more efficiently, which will in turn bring the price down, or at least increase the output of the batteries so that they're allowed, they're able to kind of optimize the technology and jump on top of longer range, better battery output usage, the regenerative braking, some of the technology that they have even in the Model Y that they didn't have in the Model 3 is some of the stuff that they're able to do while adding all this value through, increased expenditures in technology and increased, usage of the batteries, that sort of thing. So Gigafactory specifically. A Gigafactory really is just a large factory. So by definition, you can see here, Gigafactory is just a really big factory. Now, I can't say that Tesla coined this term specifically, but going off of gigabit being a large amount of storage, they just kind of coined the term back into the factory. Now it is a large factory. They have a Gigafactory in Nevada currently, but it's only 1.5 million square feet. Now that does sound big, but when you're considering, some of the warehouse storages, Amazon distribution centers, some of these other storage facilities and logistics and stuff like that, UPS hubs, they'll be well over 1 million square feet at least. And the fact that, Tesla is building a car in this, creating batteries, developing the technology, it could seem a little bit small. Well, these gigafactories are going to dwarf these smaller factories that Tesla has. They're building 3 of them, right? So there's building one in China, they're building one in Houston or Austin area, they're building one in Germany. And these gigafactories are promising to be 5.5 million square feet. Now that is 5 times nearly the size of the one that they have in Nevada, and it'll certainly surpass any. Now they say that it's going to be the largest facility in the United States, maybe even in the Western Hemisphere. I'm thinking it's the largest single-story production, multifaceted facility in the United States. Because I know that there's office facilities that are bigger. There's some Air Force Base, military contract sites that are larger. The Pentagon is pretty big. Of course, it's a multi-story building too. So maybe a single company, multi-use production, development facility, something like that. That they're touting to be the largest. And it's going to produce, 6,500 jobs at each one of these places, which might be a drop in the bucket, but it's pretty big for these areas, and certainly excitement for some of the cities that ended up getting these. I know a lot of cities were vying for this, but what it's going to do for Tesla specifically, it's going to allow them to really amp up their production. I mean, their next goal is 500,000 cars produced and developed, and they're targeting these areas being Germany for the central location in Europe-ish, Texas because of raw material sourcing. Probably they got a break, a tax break on the product or on the site or something like that too. Plus maybe the land was cheaper. But it is, it's not centrally located. It's not like Ohio or anything like that. But it is kind of in the middle, southern part of the country, and then you could span off from there. And then in addition, China, they're really pushing, Chinese production of some of these vehicles, just because the market share in China is so big. Elon, threw an article out there. It was a little controversy, but a few weeks back to talk about how, the Chinese culture is really embracing electric vehicles as a way to control pollution, as a way to control, help with the environmental degradation, and then also it's a good car that's giving, even the short range is giving the folks there enough range to be able to do whatever they're doing. So stuff like that. They're really buying into the the electric vehicle promotion and push and everything like that, which is good. So, you've got 6,500 jobs at each of these locations, 5.5 million square foot, footprint on each of these buildings. In addition to this, each of these gigafactories are self-sufficient through wind and solar. They have the entire roof. If you look at one of the buildings that they have produced is white, and it's actually a big, huge solar panel collection facility on top of it. So everything run internally inside the building, similar to, Apple's donut-shaped new corporate office. Everything is contained through solar power. They have wind as well at the Tesla facility, but everything that they're going to be doing, all their machines, their automation, their technology production is going to be, sourced through this renewable energy resource, which is nice. So, I mean, the footprint of the facility is going to be pretty big, but the footprint on the environment is going to be pretty small. Now, Tesla, touts itself as a green company, so they had the opportunities to probably do this cheaper. They're spending quite a bit of money, millions and millions of dollars for these solar panels. Now, of course, they do Solar City, and they also have solar offerings. So maybe they sold themselves the solar panels. I don't know. I probably would, but nonetheless, they're doing this to reduce their carbon footprint moving forward, which is great. And I think it's a good thing on that side too. So, but they're also going to be using it as a battery cell production facility and also a semi-production facility for the vehicles. I know they said they were going to produce the Model Y down in Texas there. They're going to be producing a Model Y, even a Model 3 over in China, probably some of the S, and then similarly over in Germany too. And they're probably going to be amping up their Cybertruck production there as well. So, they're going to use it to produce the vehicles, but they're also going to be using it for the battery technology. And that's the part that's really exciting to me. So, Battery Day is coming up in September, which doesn't really mean anything to normal people, but people that get super excited about Tesla stuff, they get excited about Battery Day because it's a promise for better technology for the vehicles that you have or that you're thinking about buying. It's more range. It's a better use of battery that you have in your vehicle. And then on top of that, anything new and exciting that's coming. Elon, every year he talks about Battery Day, and sometimes it does disappoint. He touts it like, this is going to be the way we get to Mars, and it ends up being, maybe 10 more miles range or something like that, which is exciting and it's a big deal. And I'm sure that the science behind the technology is amazing and just through the roof. However, for like an average everyday consumer, they're kind of like, it's not as big a discount as you get on Prime Day when you're trying to buy all that stuff, or some of the deals that you find on other things. So, but this year in particular, they purchased a company called Maxwell Batteries or Maxell Batteries down in San Diego, and they produced, or they came up with a single state cooled battery that didn't need the slurry production time that the other ones have, so they can produce and just really fire out batteries at a rapid pace. So what does that mean for you? That means that you'll be able to get your car faster. It means that that they can put more money into the technology. It means that they can create a solid state battery that lasts longer. They even said that this could potentially create a battery that lasts 1 million miles, which is huge. It's more than you get on most internal combustion engines. I've never seen a 1 million mile car, stuff like that. So I mean that alone is huge. And then outside of that, it would be something that can give you more range. So, they were talking about throwing back and forth, getting a 3 battery Model S, which would give you over 500 miles of range. I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's such a big deal. Talk about, going neck and neck with internal combustion engines, having something that gives you more range than most vehicles that are out there now that run on gasoline. Talk about positioning electric vehicles up there with some of the other competitors. I mean, it would put Tesla, light years ahead, which is huge. So, that's pretty exciting. And then this Gigafactory 1 of 3 is going to give them the opportunity to ramp up production and to really, kind of push these technologies and move forward with it. So, kind of in a nutshell, why are you excited about it? Because you have a Tesla, because you love Tesla everything, or because you're ordering or thinking about making a decision to buy one. And this is going to allow you to get it quicker. It's going to allow you to have more technology and be more excited about it. So just, appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys taking the time to, step in here and listen to this. As always, if you have any questions or any comments, throw them down at the bottom. Make sure you hit that like button so I know that you like these kinds of things, and I'll produce more content on it. And then go ahead and smash that subscribe. Just so that you can kind of stay on top of the videos that we send out here. So, like I said, appreciate you guys jumping in here. Hope you guys have a great day and stay safe out there. Thanks a lot.